So hello, good evening everyone. So today I will discuss regarding the effects of alcohol on our body. Now to know it very clearly how alcohol affects our body, first of all we have to understand where the alcohol gets absorbed in our body. Now the alcohol gets absorbed in the stomach of our body, in our digestive system of course. So basically in the stomach we know that a mucus layer is present that prevents the tissues of the stomach from coming in contact with the gastric acid that is secreted. Now suppose let us assume you take excess amount of alcohol. Now we know that mucus is an organic substance and alcohol is also an organic solvent. So like dissolves like that, the mucus layer slowly gets dissolved within the alcohol that we are drinking, and as a result it starts decreasing. So the tissues of our stomach gets exposed to the gastric acid, and as a result what happens, it may lead to a chance of gastric ulcer. Is point number 1. Point number 2 is that we have one area in our frontal lobe in our brain. The name of that portion is Broca's area. The Broca's area helps in the utterance of word. So what happens is that the alcohol affects directly the Broca's area. Basically not alcohol, it secretes a kind of the substance that acts as a neurotransmitter to block the neurotransmitter of the Broca's area. So what happens, the speech or the words that we say become disconfigured, means we will start speaking disconfigured words, and it may affect your long term. Third point that is there is another area in our brain. The name of that area is Wernicke's area. Now the alcohol affects the Wernicke's area, and Wernicke's area increases our learning ability. It is also in our frontal lobe. So Wernicke's area helps in our learning ability, and if we take alcohol constantly, then it affects it and our learning ability gets decreased. The next that I want to say here is that we have one balance orienting organs in our brains, the balance orientation. So basically the cerebellum gets affected by it, and as a result the body balance gets disturbed. Now basically there are several communication pathways in our brain that basically gets disturbed by the alcohol. The first thing that it gets affected is the subliminal intoxication of the brain that occurs. Now what is subliminal intoxication? Suppose if the alcohol concentration in your blood is between 0.01 to 0.05, it is also called blood alcohol content. It's a value. So basically it basically says how much alcohol is in your blood. Now if it is between 0.01 to 0.05, it is the first stage of intoxications. So as a result what will happen, your behavior and judgment will be slightly altered but not too much altered. You will get slightly a nausea feeling like that will start in your body slowly. Now next stage that we come across while drinking is euphoria. Now why this stage occurs, we have to understand it very closely. Now our brain releases a very high quantity of dopamine while drinking. Now this dopamine is linked with our pleasure. Basically it gives us a state of good feeling कि चलो सब कुछ तो हमारा अच्छा है, जीवन भी बहुत बढ़िया चल रहा है, ऐसा एक फीलिंग देता है डोपामिन हमको. And now but it also affects the reasoning and the memory quality, because I have already said it affects our Wernicke's area, which is responsible for our learning, for our reasoning. That area gets affected. So as a result the your brain's reasoning quality will get affected. Now here the blood alcohol content will be between 0.03 to 0.12. The next stage that comes here is the excitement. Now let me make it clear how this excitement, at what stage. Suppose your blood alcohol content is between 0.09 to 0.25, means there you are finding there is a overlapping pathway, means there are not so stages, we have divided it into stages for our own need. So suppose your blood alcohol content is 0.09 to 0.25. So as a result, what will happen? You are now legally intoxicated, means your brain has slowly stopped working. So what happens? It affects our occipital lobe. You know that this occipital lobe is responsible for the vision. So what happens? Your vision gets blurred. It's point number one. Point number two, it affects your temporal lobe. So if it affects your temporal lobe, you will slowly lack the control. And the last thing, it will affect your frontal lobe, and as a result you will lose your reasoning power completely. You will give you will lose control over your speeches. The parietal lobe, it possesses the sensory informations of your body. So once person's sensory informations are present in his parietal lobe. Now if this affects the parietal lobe also, so if it affects the parietal lobe, as a result what is happening is that the fine motor skill of a body gets slowly gets submerged or submissive, it becomes submissive, and as a result what happens, your responses to the stimulus become slow, so you give slow response. So now next stage that comes is confusion. Suppose your blood alcohol content comes from 0.18 to 0.3, it is leading to confusion. So what is it is also called disorientation. So it occurs basically cerebellum. Now cerebellum is responsible for the for keeping you walking as well as standing. Now when it affects the cerebellum, first of all you have already lost your balance. Now it is leading to the blackouts. So if the cerebellum gets affected, then it may lead to blackouts. And next is that there is a region in our brain, the name of that region is hippocampus region. Now this hippocampus region is responsible for making new memories. Now if it also gets affected, and as a result you will fail to remember what is happening during that time of alcohol intoxications. The next stage that you will come is stupor. So what is stupor? If your blood alcohol content is above 0.25, you are slowly showing the signs of alcohol poisoning. So what is happening is that at this time your all mental, physical and sensory functions are severely impaired. You will start suffocating, means your the respiratory system is stopping its working, and also your there may be a chance of injury. Now suppose it increases the critical value of 0.25, it reaches that level and it crosses that limit, then it may lead to even coma. So what is happening, you have a compromised respiration, your motor responses are extremely poor, so that is starting to occur, and it has a risk to death. Even alcohol concentration of a body above 0.45 may lead to death. So in this way alcohol affects our body and brain. Now I am also I want to mention something, that how alcohol basically increases its level after drinking. So basically it affects very quickly, and first of all I have already said it gets absorbed in your stomach of your bloodstream, and it reaches to our tissues in our body very fast. So let me give you some examples. It reaches the brain only in 4 to 5 minutes, and it reaches the and it starts affecting the several positions of brain within 10 minutes. Also now after 20 minutes it reaches liver, and the liver starts processing this. Now, a liver can metabolize 1 ounce of alcohol every hour. So, a blood alcohol level of 0.08 is the limit of drinking, which keeps you more or less safe. But if it increases, then what happens? I have already discussed. Now, next is that it will stay in urine up to 80 hours and the hair follicles up to 3 months. So, if one drinks alcohol, then it will remain in the in their hair follicle for up to 3 months. So I am just quoting one person. His name is Jeffrey T. Johnson. He said intoxication occurs when alcohol intake exceeds your body ability to metabolize alcohol and break it down. It means that suppose your body limit, means the amount of alcohol that your liver can process exceeds, then only it will start showing its effects in your body. So that's all regarding the effects of alcohol. I think it will help different biological aspirants and the common masses. I have I have just tried to share whatever information I had regarding this. Also, there are more informations which may I don't know or I can't share. So that's all. That's I have given a general description how alcohol affects the body. I am not going into technical difficulties and like that. So thank you again for watching our video. If you like your video, please share, subscribe and comment. Thank you.